Hi, this is Trey Passer. Welcome to my review of Titans Season 2, Episode 13, entitled Nightwing. This review is going to have spoilers in it, as usual, but my reviews for Titans. Season 2 has officially ended, okay? Uh, I'm going to do it in usual way that I normally do. Usually I tell you what happens in the episode, and I'll give you my opinion about it, and I guess what's going forward, I'll give you that too as well. I think is going to happen going forward. Okay, so basically this episode, we saw at the end of the last episode, Dick went to get his new suit. Okay, Donna and Dawn went to, to plan on helping Gar and Connor out and, rescuing them from Candace. Okay, and Rachel and Corey went to assist them. Okay, and of course we saw, Gar and Superboy being, to basically been taken over, basically mind controlled by Candace. Okay, so I think that's it. And also Rose, I'm sorry, Rose, we found out she was with uh, with Jason, and that's when he found out, and it got revealed that she was working with Slade, her father, all this time. Okay, they'll infiltrate the Titans for him. Okay, and it seemed like she had a change of heart, of course, and when she got the message from Donna to SOS All Hands on Deck, she decided to go back, and Jason decided not to. And once he found out that she was working for Slade, he was done and he left. He checked out. So this episode picks up exactly where that left off. Okay, and now this episode, let's be perfectly honest. I know a lot of people were critical of this season, and I was critical of it at points and stuff, but I enjoyed it overall. But this episode, I have to say, I thought this episode, the 13th episode, I thought this episode would be longer, but it didn't actually turn out to be the normal length. Hence, a lot of things felt rushed in this episode. And I think they really made a mistake by not making this episode longer. I think they should have let this episode be at least an hour and a half, or maybe an hour and 20 minutes at least, or something, just to let this episode breathe. There was so much that happened in this episode, and it felt sort of rushed. Like they had to get from point A to point B to point C to point D, and it felt rushed to me. It just felt really rushed. We had basically Slade in the first part of the episode, okay, and then everything else that happened after, okay, and it felt, I'm sorry, just entirely too rushed, okay. Like I said, the episode began with them, strategizing about how they're gonna, you know, take on Candace and try to rescue Gar and Connor. And when it got a message, when we saw it earlier, we saw Gar at the carnival, and they start playing that music, and then he, of course, changed into a tiger and started attacking everyone. So then they heard that, and so they decided, that's Gar, so we have to go down there. The four women, let's go down there and and help them and rescue them. Okay, and of course, but before they even got to that point, we saw, like you see in the preview trailer for season episode 13, Deathstroke attacked the car and shot at them, and of course they ducked down in that, and then we got that great shot of Dick jumping on the car and coming down and basically telling them, listen, I'll take care of this, and he starts battling Deathstroke, and of course Rose comes along and she's dressed as Ravager, and she, and that's when Slade's kind of gloats to Dick that she's been helping me all along, and also then Rose says, I'm, Titans are my family now, and the fight. So basically, we had a great. What I did like is the fight, that Dick was having with Deathstroke, and then when Ravager joined it, and it was like a 2-on-1 fight, and that was pretty cool. Okay, and that's when we found that Dick was telling, speaking to Jericho through, his father, because he knows that Jericho was trapped inside his father, and he was telling him, now's the time, you want to help, and basically what happened, what I didn't expect to happen was Rose basically stabbed him, and then she told Jericho that was the time. She kind of fatally stabbed Deathstroke, and then Jericho jumped from his father into his sister. Okay, which I thought was pretty cool. Actually, I thought that was pretty cool. And you see Deathstroke, fall down, and she takes his mask off, and you get to see that pain expression on Esa Morales' face, and he falls down. It's seemingly dead, but let's face it, in comic books, Deathstroke is going to heal. Okay, we know that, but for the time being, they make it look like, of course, that he's dead. Okay, and we have Jericho and Dick talking, and he's saying, this is going to take some getting used to being inside, Sister Rose. But I thought that was pretty cool. That whole sequence was pretty cool. But again, it felt sort of rushed. Like it just, he showed up, they attacked the car, Dick showed up, fought, Ravager showed up, they fought together, and then she kills Slade, and then Jericho jumps inside of her. It's over. That's like the first like 15 minutes that all that happened. Okay, I thought that was just I just felt rushed. Like they had, like I said, they had to get to other things. So this whole fight, even though it was a cool fight and everything else, it was felt rushed. Okay, and that's my main complaint about that. And then of course we see Candace, they show up when at the carnival too, because they set that in motion by sending Beast Boy there to start attacking people, and he's in tiger mode. And of course Superboy shows up, Candace comes there, and they having a bidding contest. Basically they're trying to sell these super soldiers a reprogrammed Connor. They're selling it to the highest bidder. Okay, and they tell and Mercy Graves early in the episode, she had like a little demonstration of Connor's his ability. He basically fired a gun and captured the bullet before it hit Mercy Graves. So of course everybody wants to bid. So she told them to show up later about 9 o'clock when they was at the carnival. And of course Connor is there to stop to play hero and stop the programmed Beast Boy. And he slaps Beast Boy around a couple of times and stuff. And then of course the Titans show up. Okay, and Rachel goes to try to talk to Gar, and then the three ladies are left there to deal with a brainwashed, Connor. And of course, Mercy sees this as even more greater opportunity to show what he can do by having him destroy the Titans. So of course, the women are just saying. I thought this was a bit funny how they were saying that, how do we tackle him? And basically, Don basically kind of shoves Donna towards her and said, "Listen, you're Amazonian, he's Kryptonian." Basically kind of shoves her towards Connor to have her fight, because let's face it, she's a strong one, especially with Corey. Her power's on the Fritz. She's the strongest one there. Okay, so she gotta force her, and Donna reluctantly goes up to her and tries to talk to him. And of course, that doesn't work, and they start exchanging punches and stuff. And then of course Hank shows up, okay, and then he starts joining into the fight and stuff. And then of course Dick comes along, okay, and he kind of temporarily stuns Connor. And then he says, "Listen, we can, they're asking how are we going to stop Connor? Like I say, he's half Superman." And he said with Rachel. Okay, and then we see Rachel, she's basically talks Gar down. Same thing like he did in the very first episode of this season, when Rachel was possessed by Trigger. And she talks him down, and by touching him, she floods his mind with all the memories of Titans, and then he's unbrainwashed. Okay. And she gives him her cloak so he's not naked. Okay, and then we see. I thought it was a pretty cool sequence, and they kind of set up a Connor. Donna puts the lasso around him, and Rachel uses her powers to hold him in place and project Dick into his mind. And you see the inner Connor. He was kind of cowering in a corner, saying that I'm not strong enough to I keep hearing her voice all through my head, and Dick basically takes, I guess, literally punched a hole through his mind so he can see the light. And then you see the next scene, he's in the middle of a cornfield, which I thought was pretty Superman-esque. He's in a cornfield with Dick, and he says thank you to Dick, and then you see him do a sort of a great Superman thing where he just flies up into the sky, and then that shows that his mind he's been unbrainwashed. Okay, and then they let him go, and he's back to normal, and then he goes and basically stops Mercy Gray from leaving, and of course with a nice punch from Corey, who knocks her out. Okay, and that kind of ends with so everybody's unbrainwashed. Candace has been stopped. Again, this whole sequence was like 5, 6, 7 minutes, and like I said, again, it felt rushed, like they had to get it out and over with. Now this to me is the dumbest part. Now in the preview for Titans episode, this episode, they said a Titan will fall, a Titan will rise, right? And I know a lot of people speculating it wasn't going to be Donna that was going to die, or maybe Jason, or maybe Rachel, because none of them were in that sequence that you saw at the end of that trailer. We see them all lined up in black. So a lot of people thought it was going to be Donna because they saw the rope there, the magic lasso, and everything else. And unfortunately for me, because I didn't want her to die, it did turn out to be her. But the way she died was extremely stupid. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. Okay, it was really stupid. And if they were going to have her die, which I didn't want to happen, because I thought Connor Leslie did a great job as Wonder Girl. Okay, and I didn't want the character to die. Okay, no offense to Hank and Dawn, but either one of them could have died, and I wouldn't give a crap. Okay, to be perfectly honest. Okay, because I think those two characters are just annoying. Even though they have kind of cool costumes, it's just too much drama and they're annoying. So I would have preferred one of them to die. But anyway, it looks like Don is about to get, this big carnival thing is about to fall on these Donna, not Don, on Dawn and his mother and these bunch of civilians when, one of the girls super speeds and, catches it before it falls and it, has electricity in it and she's holding it up and she gets fried and literally keels over and dies. And I'm going, wait a minute, Donna is Wonder Girl, right? Has the powers of Wonder Woman, right? And she's never scared. Well, she got the power bestowed upon her, but she has a super strength. She's strong enough to fight Superboy, exchange punches with him and stuff. But yet she dies. She gets electrocuted to death. Are you kidding me? That was just so stupid and weak. Okay, that was just really dumb to me. I don't care what anybody said. That was the dumbest. The way it played out was just so stupid. Okay, I'm really, because you have Connor there. He's not brainwashed anymore. He has super speed too. Why couldn't he rush and catch the thing? Electricity is not going to hurt him, right? So why they had him just standing around like an idiot and not saving the kids? It made no sense to me. It made zero sense. Okay, I wouldn't even mind Donna. Yes, that her, because Dawn is a friend. Dove is a friend. So I understand that. But having her die by electricity, extremely stupid, extremely stupid. Okay, and very weak sauce. Okay, just very weak. And she did wind up dying, which I thought was weak. And you see Dick cradling her body, and then you see them Titans, going back to Titan's Tower, and Hawk is carrying her body. Okay, and you see Dawn put her rope back in not her rope, or I think her belt, in the little display case where they had the costumes. Okay, and then we see the funeral. Okay, for that. Well, it's not a funeral. It's really they're at the airport with her body, and you see them meeting some Amazons there, and they're taking her body in the coffin and putting it on a plane, and they're going to, of course, fly back to Themyscira. And then we see Rachel, not Rachel. She goes up to Dick, and she basically says she wants to go with to Donna's body back to Themyscira. She said, because my powers are evolving, which I like this part where she admitted to Dick that her powers are evolving, and that maybe there's a chance that she could bring Donna back. Which now I could see at that point probably what they're going to do. They're probably going to bring Wonder Girl back, probably as Troya, because I think in the comic book she comes back as a different character named Troya. I think that's the character she comes back as. She dies and she comes back. Okay, so she's probably going to do that next season. So we have Raven going to Themyscira with Donna's body and the Amazons, obviously, to train and get better handle on her powers. And I think at some point during next season, Raven's going to come back with a resurrected Donna. Probably when the Titans need them or something, they're going to come back. And hopefully it won't be too long. And they'll come back next season. This whole, Donna Troy will come back as that other character, Troya, with a different hairstyle and all that stuff, and a new costume and new powers and stuff. And then we'll have Raven come back, hopefully with more of a fully grasp of her powers. I think it's going to happen. But still, the way Donna died was stupid, and they really should have came up with a better way. And like I said, they should have extended this episode or had more episodes in the season. Okay, because it's just extremely stupid the way she died. I don't care what anybody says. The way she died was stupid. With Connor standing around, he could have easily have captured that thing and saved, okay, but that was just way stupid the way it happened and the way it played out. Anyway, like I said, they're at the airport and she agrees to go off, and her and Dick say their goodbyes, and she tells her, he tells her that he'll tell everybody, that she's gone. And we also see Jason. We see him in the background. And he puts on his helmet. He's at a distance. He puts his helmet on and rides off to parts unknown. Okay, so we know he's off. And then next thing we see, they're back at the tower, and we see the real Bruce Wayne having, him and Dick are having a nice conversation where basically he's basically saying, Dick is saying thank you for taking me in and stuff, and I'm, I didn't appreciate it at the time, but now I understand why you did what you did, and thank you for that. And I thought that was really nice. And Bruce gave him some advice about, basically keep the family together. You're going through some, you're going to go through, Donna dying, you're going through a really rough patch. You really need to keep keep this team together. You have to grieve together and keep this team, keep your family together. Basically, is what he tells him. And then we have a nice scene of Dick going to Gar, who's in Donna's room, believe it or not, and he's reading a book that she's reading, and he Dick apologizes to him for leaving, and leaving him basically in charge of of Connor. He said because he basically apologizes to him and said because you really fought to keep the Titans together, and I should have never left you alone, and I'll never do it again. And he basically tells him come to dinner, and then we see everybody at the table, and then we see a nice conversation with Corey. So he's having a conversation with Bruce, and she's saying thank you for bringing us all back together, for bringing us together in the diner. And he says, I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, I wasn't there. I've never been to a diner in my life like that. So then we have her and Don talking, and they're and then they try to figure out that it was actually probably Rachel's powers that actually manifested an image of Bruce Wayne to get them all together. So it was actually Rachel that actually got them all together. Her powers, even though, like I said, her powers, like she said before, her powers are evolving, and she was powerful enough to actually get an image, and get them all together. So that's Rachel's doing to get them all together. Okay, and Bruce had nothing to do with it, which I thought was really nice. Oh yeah, there's another thing that I forgot to mention during the fight when they're watching, when Merciful Grace is watching it, and everybody's bidding on the fight. All the bidders on the TV monitors are watching, and then we see a nice shot of Bruce Wayne. He kind of hits a button, and then all the pictures go out, and he tells Mercy Gray, the bidding is going to be over, and basically screws her whole bidding process up. I thought it was nice. They have Bruce hack her computer van there and just end the bidding and stuff for Connor and stuff. I thought that was really cool for him to do that. But anyway, we see them at the dinner. They're at the dinner, talking amongst each other and stuff. And Dick is telling, how, about Donna and stuff. And they all have the orange, I think the orange drink that Donna liked, and they all kind of salute her and have a toast to her and stuff. Oh yeah, and also Hank and Donna officially kind of break up. And then Hank kind of tells her, this is the end of, Hank and Don, but this is the end of Hawk and Dove. They kind of leave that kind of open-ended. But you see at the end, you see Gar, he sees a call, and he said, listen, there's a bomb in this area, a lot of casualties. What are you going to do? And then everybody starts to get up slowly, one at a time. And then we see Dick get up, and then we see a nice shot of them all walking down an alley. And we see, all 6 of them. And then we see Gar as a tiger. He runs in front. And then we see Crypto, which I thought was cool, too. And then it kind of goes off. And then there's an after-credit scene. Not after-credit scenes, I guess pre-credit scene. Then there's one more scene. You see a mother with 2 daughters. She's putting them into a car at a supermarket and stuff. And then we see, just like we saw in the Starfire episode where her friend got taken over by Blackfire, we see this mother. She gets taken over. She gets the black glue go in her eyes, and you see her eyes change, and you can pretty much assume that she's been taken over by Blackfire, okay, or Blackfire is controlling her, okay, and she kind of knocks a guy that said, listen, you left your kids in the van, and she kind of knocks him aside, and you see the eyes change, and you see her go off. So like a lot of people predicted, Blackfire is going to be one of the main villains in season 3, which would probably be somebody else as well, probably, which would be nice. Hopefully they can introduce Hive as well. That would be nice. So that now that the Titans are fully formed, you can have somebody that can actually go up against and fight. And hopefully next season we'll see them go on more missions now that they're a team. Okay, now I heard that Kid Flash may be showing up, Roy Harper, Roy Harper, and what else? Maybe Miss Marvel. Okay, maybe. Might get those 3. So I can understand why maybe they kind of wanted to thin the herd a little bit. But I would have preferred they got rid of Hank and Dawn. I really do. Okay, Hank and Dawn, and if you want to have Donna go off and then just be occasional, she can come back and join the Titans, I would agree to that. Or have Jason go off, and so I would agree to that. But I didn't like the way they killed Donna off. I think that was just really corny. But I think what made me feel better was that when I heard Rachel say she's going to go with her and see if she can bring her back. Now I think she is going to come back definitely. And she'll come back as this resurrected character, Troya, which if you got to Google that for the comic books and comic book nerds, and you'll see what that character, her powers are and such. Because she does come back in the comic book. She dies, and then she comes back as a different character in the comic books. But the way she died in this was really corny. and just really, really not worthy of her. I could have sent better if they would have had maybe Deathstroke kill her with a specially designed bullet or something like that. That would have made I would have believed it. I still would have not liked it, but it would have been a better way for her to go. Okay, if you're gonna let her go, or just any other way. Maybe her dying. Well, I don't think they could have her dying with Superboy fighting her, because then you can have Superboy join if he killed her, even if he was mind controlled. It'd be kind of screwed up to have the guy that killed, you know, Dick's childhood friend in the group, even though he was brainwashed. So still, I think it was corny the way they killed her. But now that she's gonna come back, I think her and Rachel will come back. I don't know how many episodes in, but they'll come back, and they need to really expand the episodes. Maybe make 15 episodes instead of 13. I think, and that we hopefully there'll be no more flashbacks. So now we can have them going on missions, and we'll have to do the whole Blackfire thing, and maybe the Hive, and have them fight the Fearsome Five or something like that. So just have them fight, and more in their costumes and stuff, which I think hopefully going forward should be what we get in season 3. But again, I'll still say it to the day I die. That was stupid the way she died. That was dumb. The way they played it out, that was, I don't know who wrote that, but that was dumb the way it played out. That was really, really dumb. Okay? And I'm going to miss Connor Leslie until she comes back, because I thought she was a real good Wonder Girl, and even though her characters at times act out of character to me from season 1, but having the way she died was stupid. Okay? But I think I know why they did it. I mean, they could have had her die in a different way, but I think they wanted to get her and Rachel kind of off the team, at least temporarily. So when they introduce the other characters next season, and then you can have them come back. But I really would have preferred they got rid of Hank and Don. I really do. If you want to give them a spinoff, give them a spinoff. But I really would have preferred they got rid of them too. Okay? Because just, to me, they're just, just annoying. Those two characters do nothing for me. I know a lot of people like them, but those two characters do nothing for me. Okay? And hopefully, like I said, Starfire gets her powers back. Okay, I didn't like that part either, but I think I know why they did that, because if she had her powers, she could fry Superboy, even though, Superboy's pretty tough, but she would have been more involved in the fight if she had her powers and stuff. But they really, hopefully they'll rectify that soon, and she'll get her powers back. But anyway, I do wonder if they're going to have the Titans go to her planet Tamarin. Maybe there'll be a spaceship, and maybe they'll find a way to actually get her back to Tamarin, to overthrow her sister and bring the Titans with her, which I think would be cool. That would be cool to see that in season 3. And then hopefully, like I said, maybe cast an actor as Clark Kent. Okay, and you could have him come back and have him kind of counsel, Connor Kent, about dealing with his powers and stuff. Okay, because let's face it, they could do that if they want to, and I would look forward to it. But I heard they said maybe even Kid Flash, Roy Harper, Arsenal, and maybe Miss Marvel. So, like I said, no offense to Hawk and Dove, but I could do without them, to be fairly honest. Okay. Anyway, like I said, overall this season, I know a lot of people didn't like the pacing, and at times I didn't like the pacing either for this season. But I thought I liked it that it brought in other characters and stuff. I just didn't like that some characters were sidelined. Like Gar was sidelined for a lot of the episodes. Okay, he was, and thankfully he got a lot of involvement in the last couple of episodes, which I thought was good. That they gave him something to do. And now Rachel's off and Donna's off. Okay, so and Jason's gone off to the woods. So basically, we just have Nightwing, Starfire, depowered Starfire, Gar, Beast Boy, got Hawk and Dove, and Superboy and Crypto. Okay, so those are the Titans right now as it stands. And like I said, maybe Hank and Don will reconcile and go off, and then we can bring in Kid Flash and Arsenal. I wouldn't mind that. Okay, if they do that. But let me know what you want for season 3. Okay, that's what I would want. Okay, because I heard maybe the Blue Beetle as well. So what I want, you can have them battle Starfire and let them go to her planet and fight. It'd be so cool to see that. Let them go on more missions. Okay, let them fight the Hive, the Fearsome Five. Okay, I would love to see that. Okay, and of course bring Donna back as Troya, and of course bring Raven back, more of more fully control of her powers. I definitely think those two things are going to happen. Anyway, let me know what you think. Feel free to leave comments down below. I have links to my social media in the description box, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Also have a link to my other channel, Paul Views and Opinions. Please check that out as well. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long. Take care.